What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. Today I'm going to be updating y'all on several swales that we've dug here on our farmstead. I've got one right here behind me that you can see that's got all kinds of stuff planted in it. So I'm going to update and show y'all what we actually planted in these different swales and how you can successfully dig your swales on your property. Let's jump into it. So first I'm going to talk about this swale here on the north side of our market gardens. Our entire property steadily slopes downhill. We got a couple swales down there, some berry swales, and a swale up at the top side of the property, which I'll show y'all here in a minute. So when it downpours, all this flows downhill pretty quickly. So the reason that we laid this one out, this one's a swale on contour. It basically, to simplify it, it's just a ditch on contour, y'all. This one's not perfectly on contour, so all the water will come and hit this swale, and then a lot of it will actually end up draining out that way because it is a little bit sloped in that direction. Now I do want to show y'all what we planted on these swales. So you can see that the swales actually built up some, and at the base or the ditch part where the water is actually going to hit, we've got comfrey planted, and it's just starting to come up. This is its first year, so it's starting to come up to get established. But comfrey is an incredible plant. It's fantastic for pollinators because it's pretty much always blooming. I'll show you a more mature comfrey plant here in a minute. And then of course we've got clover planted. So that's also going to help hold water. It's going to have living roots in the ground. It's also pulling up lots of vital nutrients from the soil. And then on the actual swale at the top, we have some fig trees. We didn't quite do like a linear food forest, but we're kind of mimicking that a little bit. We've got several types of figs planted along the swale, spaced out, and then underneath we've got herbs, perennial flowers. So all that will be good for the native habitat, and obviously it's just beautiful and helps with pollination here on our farm. And so this runs all the way down. We got comfrey planted every several feet, and so this is what we did on this swale. This really helps prevent runoff in the market gardens, and it captures a lot of water. It's absorbed a lot in the swale, especially with all the wood chips. We heavily mulched this. And one thing I'll actually show you is we planted some rows of garlic on the back side of the swale just for fun. I love these things, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So now that I showed you all that swale, I'm going to take you up to our northern swale to kind of show you what we did there. This is our northern swale. It's not perfectly on contour, but we have just one plant planted into it, and it's Austrian willow. And what we were trying to create with this was just kind of a privacy hedge. And as these grow more, we'll actually coppice them. I believe that's the term for it. That's where you're just chopping them off at the base, and then they grow back and really bush out a lot more. So that's what we wanted to accomplish there. Obviously just getting some privacy going, but also the beauty of this is our neighbor uses, lots of fertilizer and stuff like that. So we were trying to kind of create a hedge for that to be absorbed by non-edible plants. And so that was kind of the goal there with that northern swale. Now I'm going to show you our southern swales, and we have berries planted along those. So let me walk down there real quick. All right, so here are two small swales on the south side of our property. These were dug on contour, and we have berries planted along these. Now, this row right here is second year blackberries. We do have some comfrey plants intertangled. We got the cattle panel trellis, and they're actually pretty loaded up right now with berries from last year. So these are starting to ripen, which I'm really excited for. And so again, similar fashion, we built it up. We dug the swale, which was originally a big ditch, and then we loaded it with wood chips. And actually, again, this used to go down like a foot, but it's filled with wood chips now, which again, as the water comes in, wood chips are going to absorb it. It's going to hold water in the landscape. It's going to passively irrigate the blackberries and the comfrey. And so same thing here. This one was planted actually just this year with blackberries, and so they're just getting going, but you can see how mature the comfrey plants are. And you can come and chop and drop these. It's gonna, again, you can chop and drop comfrey, and it's loaded with nitrogen. The other thing that's great about this is it can be used for animal forage. You can see there's a bee there. If I can zoom in. Yep, you see it. Every time I come out here, they're on that. So absolutely love Comfrey. And so those are multiple examples of swales, one for privacy. Both of these obviously are food related. And so it's working incredibly well to hold water on our landscape. And they're really simple to build, y'all. And if you want to watch a video of how we built them, I will put a link right here. Appreciate y'all watching. We'll catch you on the next episode.